Hello, 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 everybody. My name is Sable, and welcome to Full Out Healing. Today, I want to talk to you about small wins that are really big wins. And because they're big wins, they deserve to be celebrated as such. Now, in let's see, I'll share with my small win, which is really a big win. But I'll share with my small win and then kind of go into a little bit about the context of why it's actually a big win and why it deserves to be celebrated. And so, the small win is that Full Out Healing has, drumroll please, over 20 subscribers. Oh my gosh. Actually, at the time of this recording, we have 22 people who have subscribed and joined our community, which is so freaking exciting. And some other updates too. I started a newsletter and I have one email subscriber to my newsletter, which is very exciting. And I also last week chose to share this channel more openly, which is also very, very exciting. Now, I know you might be thinking 20 subscribers, that's nothing. Like some people have thousands or millions of subscribers and one person on your email list, what is that? And like daring to share your this channel isn't that the point of it all? Like, why is this a big deal that you're sharing it? These might be your thoughts, um, but quite frankly, they're the my own mind gremlins who, in another day, in another life, would have totally minimized these these wins as like nothing and not mattering. And I wanted to take a step back and to explain why these wins are such a big deal. Okay. There was a time in my healing journey as a survivor where I thought that the shame that I felt would kill me. I felt so much shame that one way I like to describe it is that I thought that if you could dig the deepest hole on planet Earth and stop just above the core, which is wild, then cover it and then put me there and then cover it up and then put like the biggest mountain range on top of it. That's how much I wanted to hide from the shame that I felt. And so the fact that and not only that, that shame, I wanted to hide from that so much. And also I just felt so deeply isolated in the shame of it all. I felt like not I felt alone in the sense that not that I could be the only human who could ever be experiencing this, which was part of it, but the way it tied to shame is that I am so shameful, I am so pathetic, I am so fill in the blank negative adjectives that that's why I have to be the only person because being alone in it wasn't a signification of this is it wasn't a signification of ego, it was more a signal of like how low I was, that everyone else, every human, every living being on earth had to be so much far above me because that's how low I felt, that's how small I felt, that's how like nothing I felt. And eventually I mean I'm here. There are 22 people here subscribing and eventually in the journey I found that, you know, speaking to the shame, it instead of killing me, it actually freed me. I found that speaking to the shame that I felt, it actually connected me, made me feel more connected to other people. One aspect of my inner world that existed leading into the abuse, but was totally exacerbated and hyper weaponized was the fact that I didn't feel at my core Black enough, queer enough, or femme enough. right? And ironically, I found in going to support groups with people, mind you, who didn't necessarily share those identities, but did share the lived experience of surviving abuse, I ironically discovered I am so black, I am so queer, I am so femme. Like it was weird how in it was only in those spaces that I found my enoughness. And and not only did I find my enoughness, I realized I had had it all along and it was never up for debate or for question. And it was in sharing my shame, in sharing what felt like those dirty little secrets that I found connection to other people. And not only that, in the process, I chose to trust me. I chose to believe me. I chose to accept my truth as valid and real and not imaginary. And no matter what, which is such a it's such a big deal because part of, you know, what is what was required of me to sort of exist in the abuse was accepting this other narrative, was accepting this other worldview that wasn't my own, but it it was the narrative and worldview that made the insanity that I was experiencing normal and okay. And so to go from all of that to being in a place where I say my truth and I accept it as fact, that there is a time in my life where that was literally unimaginable. And here I am on YouTube, sort of, not sort of, actually doing the thing, sharing my truth, speaking to it. And with 22 people as a witness, like how crazy is that? And which is why 20 whole subscribers, 22 whole subscribers is a big fucking deal. Like a very, very big deal. And so I want to, and one newsletter subscriber and the shared link and the positive reception. And so because of that, I found so much beauty in reflecting on my small wins are actually big wins. And here's why. Here's my context. So I want to ask you the same question. What are some of your small wins that are actually big wins and are big milestones that deserve to get their flowers from you? When you consider the context of what you have survived, what becomes a major milestone? Like just give yourself I'm asking you to give yourself space to think on that and to, dwell on it and own it and give yourself flowers for it. And I know something that makes this piece challenging, and it made it challenging for me. So I'm surmising, I think it might, maybe this might resonate for you, but something that made it challenging for me is, you know, the the small wins feeling small because they are not recognized by society or maybe the people around you or I don't know, arbitrary people who have say and power. But I want you to know your small win is now recognized by you, and that's the most important thing. And if you'll allow me to join you, it's also recognized by me too. So I would love for you to share, what are your small wins that are actually big wins? And how are you celebrating and honoring yourself for that? Because you're kind of a big deal. And I'm proud of me and I'm proud of you. And so, yeah, please share in the comments, what are those very deceptively small wins that are actually kind of a big deal? Share in the comments, subscribe if you haven't already, and subscribe to the YouTube channel and subscribe to my newsletter. Link in the comments, y'all. Bye. See you next time.